Hello, I'm Philip Duncan. Thank you very much for joining us as we go into the Queen's birthday weekend. We've got another forecast tomorrow before the long weekend, but here is our latest update. And at the moment, a fair bit of high pressure, but we've got some rain on the way. In fact, once again, some flooding risks around New Zealand, but it's a little bit more broken up and isolated than last time, and Canterbury is not in the firing line. So let's take a look and see what's happening. High pressure dominating at the moment. That big high will be tracking across over the next couple of days. And in fact, it's this high and this small area of low pressure just forming in eastern Australia. They're going to combine and produce a very wet nor'easter, pulling down subtropical air, making for milder than usual weather this weekend, but also increasing some of those downpours. They will be a bit hit and miss, but for some of those who are kind of exposed to most of them, there is a flooding risk in some areas, and those areas are on this map right now. So this is the rainfall map between now and basically Tuesday morning, showing the rainfall accumulation. Now, the area that I'm most interested in is the purple shading up here, and also some areas in the South Island. On the Key, that's 100 millimetres, and the darker blue is 150. You see a bit of dark blue here in the Nelson Ranges. So these are some very narrow lines of rain, and in between, like areas like that, you're talking only about 60 millimetres. So some areas have a downpour, others just up the road have a downpour plus, and it sort of comes with a risk of localised flooding depending on which valleys and rivers, streams are caught up in it. But those heavy downpours coming in along the top of the South Island, along the western side, heaviest falls will be from the glaciers southwards, and then also up here in Northland. It's been a long time since we've seen some big downpours for the north, but up here we've got rainfall accumulations getting up and over 100 millimetres in isolated areas. For many others, the rainfall totals are not as great, and in fact, once you get down to Auckland and Waikato, you're at the kind of bottom of the scale here, 20, 30 millimetres of rain. As we go through later into the start of next week, we do expect some of that rain to move down into the upper North Island, and unfortunately, Hawke's Bay, you're not one of those areas that's a high-risk candidate at this stage for decent rain. But the good news is Canterbury, you have a little bit of rain, but it's not a huge amount. We're talking maybe 30 millimetres. There is the potential to get up to 40. It just depends on how much spills over. So Canterbury, you're not really in the firing line, but based on the rain you've just had, you just want to keep a close eye on any spillover that comes over. We're hoping it's not going to be too much of a problem, but just wanted to let you know. So this is how it looks on the maps. Here's Friday. Not much to talk about with the big high pulling down this warmer airflow, but there's that rain starting on Friday on the southern half of Westland. As we go into Saturday, that rain moves further up the west coast and the winds pick up. There could be some wind warnings issued by Met Service this weekend as a result of these strong northerly nor'westers, just depending on where you are. Couple of showers in the north, maybe a couple around Nelson, otherwise mostly dry, and dry in the east. Also fairly mild as well. By Sunday, the rain shifts a little bit here. So we've got some downpours coming into Nelson, but it's really sort of Northland that's most exposed. And this is what we sort of call a slow-moving wet nor'easter. You've got this big blocking high out to the east. It's like a slow truck. And you're sitting here in the car, you want to overtake it, but you can't. You just have to sit behind it. So the northerly winds, the northeasterlies coming out of the subtropics, packed with moisture, but it's isolated. So some areas are drizzly with only a little bit of rain, others get heavier falls. We're seeing a lot of places though getting up around 60, 70, 80 millimetres, and a few others going up above 100, and then many others just a little bit further to the west, sort of bit further away from the ranges. Those totals really drop very quickly, and as you can see, mostly dry in eastern areas, certainly dry in the south. Queen's birthday Monday, not a lot of change. We've got the sort of areas of low pressure all along here on the back of that big departing high, trying to get away, but it's a very powerful high pressure system. So that reaches up into the tropics, pulls down that subtropical area, I should say, and you've got downpours continuing off and on. Drizzle patches, dry spells, downpours, patchy kind of stuff around the north, but clearly where these brighter colours are, that's where the downpours are a bit heavier. And as you can see, more rain in the South Island, some coming into Canterbury, but it's mostly northerly driven, so we're hoping it won't be anything like what you've just had. And our final map is for Tuesday of next week, and the South Island's clearing up, other than a few showers where no one lives. We've got some rain though, still stuck around the North Island, and now those heavier falls are slowly moving into Bay of Plenty, Coromandel, maybe some parts of Auckland, and then a bit later on, maybe East Cape. Only a few showers coming down to Hawke's Bay at this stage, but obviously tomorrow in our next update, we'll be focusing a bit more on, as this moves through, what happens then really into the middle of next week. Don't forget to keep up to date with the rainfall totals. We've got hourly, daily, weekly, 10 days out actually, for your location, or if you're traveling away this weekend for that location. So please do go to ruralweather.co.nz. Also, Weather Watch obviously, and keep up to date with any Met Service warnings. You'll find all the Met Service warnings on the Weather Watch website. That's all from me. Back again on Friday with an update before the long weekend.